Sodor Escapades Christmas Special, Percy and the Snowstorm. It was Christmas Eve on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were very excited. They loved seeing the passengers and taking them through the snowy sights in Sodor around Christmas time. However, on this Christmas Eve, a huge snowstorm was forecast at the island very soon. Sir Topham Hatt was at the sheds and had gathered his engines to warn them of the coming storm. "Engines," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I've heard there is a terrible storm coming. Now I know it's Christmas Eve and many of you are busy. However, I want all of my engines to be safe. Stay in the sheds if you don't need to be out in the snow, as that will only cause confusion and delay. I advise those of you that are taking trains tonight to be careful and have your plow fitted soon." "Yes, sir," replied the engines. They were all excited for Christmas. "I'd better get going," said Thomas. "Annie and Clarabelle don't like this weather, and I don't want to have to wear my snowplow." "Be careful, Thomas," said Percy. As he watched Thomas pull out of the shed, he couldn't help but think about his job that night. He didn't want his best friend to get lost in the snow, but he was also worried when he was taking the mail train that he could get caught in the snow, as he'd gotten stuck in the snow before and was worried it might happen again. It wasn't long before the engines had all left for their jobs. James went to gather his coaches, and Gordon went to pull the express. Henry had gone to pick up a Christmas tree in the forest. And Edward had gotten decorations and ornaments for Tinmouth sheds and the Christmas tree. The engines were all heeding Sir Topham Hatt's warning as the snow began to fall on the island. At Knapford Station, the platforms were crowded with passengers. James and Gordon were very, very busy, and they could tell the storm was starting to worsen little by little, covering the tracks with snow. "This snow just doesn't end," said James. "Passengers just keep coming." "Don't worry, James," said Gordon. "Our passengers are counting on us. There's only a few more trains to Christmas." "I'll see you in the sheds," said Gordon, and he rushed away. "Good luck, Gordon. Merry Christmas," called James. Gordon's words had lifted his spirit. Meanwhile, Henry had gone to the forest with flatbed to carry a Christmas tree back to Tim's sheds to be displayed. He liked how the forest looked all covered in snow. Luckily, he had his snowplow. "Is that the tree?" Henry asked his driver excitedly. "It looks grand." "Yes, it is," his driver replied. "Soon you can take it. Those workmen just have to make sure it's secured on your flatbed, and then we can take it home." "Splendid," he said. "I can't wait to see it put up, and they'll be out of the storm." With the tree on his flatbed, Henry soon set off to get shelter from the storm and to greet all the other engines who were there. When Henry had arrived at the sheds, he saw Percy was leaving. Percy had to go take the mail train, delivering some presents and last-minute letters to Santa. Where are you going, Percy? Asked Henry. I just brought the Christmas tree. I have to take the mail, Percy said. It's Christmas Eve. It's the most important day of the year for the mail. Can't let anyone down on Christmas Eve. I suppose you're right, said Henry. Well, be careful. It's like a blizzard out there. Yes, Percy, be careful, said Edward. And Merry Christmas, said Thomas. Yes, Merry Christmas, said all the engines as Percy left to go collect the mail. Percy was enjoying this late night run. He was making good time on his mail run tonight, despite the snowy conditions. Until his return journey that Percy encountered some trouble. It wasn't until his return journey that Percy encountered some trouble. The track was dark, and the snow had really fallen down. The rails were slippery. As he approached the junction, he didn't see any signals or lights, and the rails were icy. So he slid straight into a snowbank. And he was stuck. Hello? Is anyone there? Percy was... Poor Percy. Blew his whistle as well. No one besides his driver and fireman heard him. I'm sorry, Percy, they said, but it looks like no one's around. That next morning, the engines of the island of Sodor awoke, realizing they had been snowed in. Soon, Sir Topham became aware of this and alerted Miss Jenny and her pack, asking them for help clearing the rails. Listen up, said Miss Jenny. I know it's Christmas, but all the engines are snowed in across the island. I need all of you to help. Yes, ma'am, they exclaimed. Even Max and Monty pledged. Well, I do love making tracks in the snow. It'll be fun, said Max. Yeah, Monty agreed. All right, now get to work, she said. Byron, you clear the sheds. Jack, Alfie, you two clear the rails. Max, Monty, go help them. Isabella, you help them too. There should be some supplies to help those that are snowed in. Yes, ma'am, said the pack, and they all went away. Byron and Isabella quickly arrived at Timothy's sheds. All the engines had awoken and were waiting for Byron to clear the snow. After they thanked Byron for clearing the snow, Thomas realized something. Percy hasn't come back yet. He must have gotten stuck in the snow. Don't worry, said Isabella. I'll go find Jack and tell him we'll have Percy back here at the sheds in no time. Thank you, said Thomas. I wouldn't want to spend Christmas without him. Thomas was really worried for his friend. But soon Isabella left and to go find Jack and Percy. Isabella had found Jack and told him, "Percy's stuck in a snowbank. We need to help him." "Lead the way, Isabella," said Jack, and soon the two found Percy. Jack began clearing. And soon Percy was free. Percy's driver and fireman were given hot cocoa to warm up. After that, Percy, Jack, and Isabella went on their way back to Timothy's sheds. When they finally arrived at Timothy's sheds, all the other engines were waiting. The Christmas tree Henry had brought stood tall and proud, decorated with ornaments and other decorations Edward had collected. Sheds were warm and welcoming after Percy's long, cold night. "Percy!" all the engines exclaimed when they saw him. They were glad to see their friend again. "Welcome home, Percy," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Everyone was worried about you." "Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to all of you," he said. "Merry Christmas!" everyone cheered. The end.